Jump right into questions, yeah.
Where you spent all season adding, tweaking, what's the feeling of being able to go out there and kind of start again?
It's good, man. I mean, I think, like obviously anytime you go into your first year as a play caller, there are some things you learn about yourself. There are some things you learn from a schematic standpoint that you feel can help our players, and you try to implement those after the year. And I will say this: I felt like, even with the portal, we went and got some pieces that we needed, and more importantly, some pieces that fit us. And so going into this year, looking at our personnel, looking at how we can utilize guys, I think we've got players that have obviously been buying in and believing what we're selling. So obviously we got some new coaches in there, and obviously some new excitement. Obviously, anytime you're going into a new football season, but I think the biggest thing for us, like just moving ahead and moving forward, is just to make sure we're doing what we're coached to do. Like when we've had good execution, when guys have properly executed, it's literally been a thing of beauty. But when guys have kind of went out and did their own thing, right, whether it's a scrimmage or a game, like it's very, very, very telling, right? And you try to learn and grow from those moments. But what I'm so excited about in regards to this unit is for them to be able to showcase what we've been doing this offseason. Obviously with the, having Matt Bailey back, I mean, it definitely changed some things, and obviously it makes me feel really excited and comfortable, obviously, as a play caller, because he's obviously one of our better players. But we got a lot of new additions that I'm really thrilled and excited for you guys to see.
What gives you confidence in the group, and how eager are you guys? Because it feels like these guys have a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, and I think, Coach always talks about having two chips, on both our shoulders. But like, I just think this group of young men, right? I just think that's how they function and operate. Like, they don't care about the outside noise. They don't care about who gets the credit. All they want to do is go out there and show people what real Illinois football is about. Illinois has had some really, really good football seasons, right? And Illinois also had some seasons where they were close and had some bad seasons. And so, obviously being the 100-year anniversary, our players, they've taken notice to that. You know what I mean? And for the guys who've been ahead of them, or who were before them, I should say, they've really taken a lot of pride in going out there and putting on the show, in terms of this football season, so that the former greats can be proud, But more importantly, this is an extremely eager group. We have over 45 new guys on our football team, but I just feel like within the framework of things, we got a lot of experience, right, at a bunch of different positions, and I had a conversation with my wife last night. I told her last year for me professionally was a year of growth, right, both on the field and off the field. I think going into this year, obviously the good Lord always having a conversation with him, but this year is about establishment, right? Establishing ourselves as a prominent defense, right? Establishment in the run game and the pass game, like in every aspect of what we're trying to get done defensively, and we hope that it shows collectively as a team.
Aaron, I know that penalties, especially in the back unit, were a frustration last year with everything Coach Parker has done with the boxing gloves, the oven mitts. Are you confident in what you've seen already that it's a cleaner brand of defense, and that'll show itself up on Thursday night?
I mean, from what I've seen thus far, yes, sir, it has been. We had a couple of scrimmages where refs came and we tried to ask them to be as critical as possible, right? Even things that could be nitpicky, we wanted them to be as critical as possible, only because we want to be able to showcase our players and show our players, like, this is what happens as a result of poor execution, right? And I keep bringing up this stat because it's so alarming to me. Like, last year, anytime we got a 15-yard penalty, that drive resulted in a touchdown, right? And so the goal is to play clean football. The goal is to be penalty-free. We harped on things defensively, just about being clean and executing the plan in which we're asking our guys to do. And so there's been a lot of detail and focus in regards to, right, Coach Parker had players put on gloves and put on mitts so that they won't grab at the top of routes, right? There's just some small little things that I think are going to be very, very beneficial for us on the back end, and even collectively as a defense, that has really been showing up this offseason. And I just can't wait to play, man, to be completely transparent with you, because I really believe like those things are going to carry over for us.
The quarterbacks
preseason conference player of the year. What kind of challenges does he present for you? Is it a good early test for you?
Yeah, and I think this cat is so underrated, man. I mean, he is as talented gets. You know what I mean? I think we're going to play a multitude of really good quarterbacks this season, which I'm excited to face. But more importantly, I just think he just brings he's savvy. He throws the ball extremely well. He knows how to get out of pressure situations. You know, he does a really, really good job in managing their offense. You know, he knows how to get the ball out on time. You know, for what they ask him to do and what they ask their offense to do. You know, their coordinator does a tremendous job in putting that quarterback in winning situations. You know, and so it's going to be a really good test for us early on. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if they came out there trying to throw that thing around a little bit because they got the receivers too. They got a bunch of really good skill guys on the outside that I truly believe can play at this level. You know, and it's no secret to us. Like, you know, I know most fans are when they look at a schedule, they look at the Penn States of the world, Oregons, and they focus on different. But for us, this is a Super Bowl for us, right? As much as people want to downplay it, like we know this team is coming in here to beat us, right? Like they got talented players on their roster that could have played here easily, in my humble opinion, right? And so I think our preparation for this game and how we've been taking it, you know, like for every week is a Super Bowl, right? Like every single week is a college football playoff game, you know, because you never know. And so just our focus and our mentality is just going out there and taking it one play at a time, one rep at a time, and doing what we're coached to do. Because this team is a really good football team that can put up a lot of points. And they have really, really good skill position. And anytime you mix all that together and you got a signal caller and a quarterback who's as talented as this young man, you got a chance to win a lot of games.
Aaron, you talk about the idea of establishment as a defense. How as a coordinator do you convey that to your guys? And as a second part, how have you seen them throughout camp kind of embody that concept?
Yeah, just throughout the whole spring, from spring ball to fall camp, you know, just some things that we discussed as a defensive unit. You know, some of the things that we have a tendency to talk about, right? Like we talk about passion, you know, and being passionate about what you do, being passionate about walking into the building, right? And then we go from passion and we talk about integrity, you know, and I correlate all of those to the hand, right? Like the pinky is passion, and without the pinky, you know, like the fist that you make isn't as powerful when you're not passionate about something, right? And then we go to the ring finger when we talk about integrity, right? Like as fathers and as husbands, you know, like that ring finger holds a lot of value in your belief system and how you do things on a day-to-day basis, right? And then we talk about mental and physical toughness, right? That's kind of like Coach B always preaches that with the tough, smart, dependable, right? If you can be a mentally and physically tough team, right? And then we talk about being selfless, right? Being selfless, like putting that guy that's your teammate ahead of you, right? Playing for that guy next to you. And then we talk about perfect effort. You know, and if you can take all of those things, right, and ironically enough, like you can make a fist with it, right, you form a lot more power when you got that hand closed and they're all together. Now, if you individualize each and every one of these things, right, yeah, you can be good in some areas and poor in others. And so the whole off season has been about the culture and cultivation of us trying to play together as one, right, and just keep swinging. Right, like constantly keep swinging, right? Like no matter what the scoreboard says, no matter what the situation is, you know, I took elements of games that we played last year, and I constantly try to show guys, like, if we just played this a little better, or played that a little better, there would have been some successful things that have came from that, but we didn't, right? And so we got to learn from those moments, and ultimately we got to stay together so that we can play together.
Where'd you get that from?
I got it from Barry Lunny, ironically enough.
Yeah.
I got it from Coach Lunny. I think they had some other pieces to it, but I kind of added my own thing to it. But Coach Lunny, me and him, we were on a recruiting trip together, and he spoke to me about it, and it tugged at my heart. And as a defensive player, you're constantly fighting, right? And if you can, all you got to do is throw the right punch. You ain't got to throw a lot of them, you just got to throw the right one, right? And the right one can literally nail your opponent and figuratively put them out, right? And so we really been preaching that this offseason.
I guess when we talked about Xavier this offseason, we kind of looked at him through the lens of an outside guy, a boundary guy. So what do you like about how that skill set fits at that spot? Because we saw him a lot, obviously, at Star last year.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see Xavier Scott all over the field. Again, in our system, when we recruit guys to come here, you know, we talk about being a defensive back. We don't call them corners. We don't call them safeties. We call them being defensive backs, right? Because our defensive backs are going to be asked to be in a run fit, line up at the corner position. They're going to be asked to be in a run fit, line up at the nickel position. They're going to have to be in a run fit, line up at the safety position. They could be in the middle of the field. They could be in one-on-one coverage. And so when you talk about developing a roster of really good football players on the back end who can play DB, right, what we're going to ask Xavier to do is something that we truly believe he's capable of doing. Like Xavier is so talented, but he's also extremely versatile, right? He's a highly intelligent young man, and we obviously feel that he can take on the bulk of learning more than one position because, you know, he's shown that he's a veteran in the program, right? Like, I mean, there were some days during the course of practice, you know, where I would just tell him, I'm like, bro, you sliding inside this segment, right? And without him, I mean, he just does it. You know what I mean? And when you got players in your program that can do that without blinking an eye, I think you've captivated these young men. I think coach has done a tremendous job in finding the right players that fit what we want to constantly do. And a result of that, you get really good players.
You mentioned Matthew Bailey. And just what he brings. What will he bring now that you got him here to help you?
Yeah, I think what Matt brings is just a calmness, right? Like everybody has that one person that they can call when things get hectic, right? For some people it's their mom, for some folks it's their dad, right? Maybe it's your sister, maybe it's your wife or your girlfriend, right? Well, for me, Matt Bailey is like all of that, right? Like he just has a calming presence about him that when he's on the field, because he communicates at an elite level, because he watches film at an elite level, like there is a sense of security on the field when he's out there, right? And I just think really good players, you know, really good players that I've been around, when you got a cat like that on the field, whether they're on the D line, at linebacker, or at the DB position, it obviously helps your defense. And so I'm just excited to see that young man go out there and play his butt off, man. I mean, just the road and the journey that he's been on. It's truly a testament to who he is. He's had to face a lot of adversity, and I can't tell you guys how. I mean, he is chomping at the bit, man. I mean, there has been times during fall camp where hey, dude, we ain't gonna put you in this, and he's like upset at me. Like he's dang near in tears because he's so passionate. He's so strong-willed. He's such a believer in what we're preaching from a culture standpoint and from a overall philosophical standpoint that he just wants to be out there and showcase his ability and talent, not just for himself but for his teammates, you know. And anytime you got a player like that in your program that is like crying to get on the field, you know, that it's burning him to get on the field, I think you got something special.
Last year you guys up front who took a lot of snaps. Do you see this group maybe as more of a rotation, 4, 5, 6 guys, or has somebody stepped up that showed you they can take 400 or 500 snaps? You know, I think we got a group of guys collectively. This is probably, in my opinion, probably the most depth that we've had. You know, especially the guys up front and Coach Centum and Coach Jamison. They've done a tremendous job. I mean, we got some really, really good players at multiple positions, and we got some really good guys behind them that are. I mean, we're going to rotate as much as we can, you know, to keep guys fresh and keep bodies fresh. But at the end of the day, you know, I mean, we're going to have the guys out there that we feel can help us win at a consistent level, you know, and whether that means rotation every other series or every couple of series or within the framework of a drive, if a guy gets tired, then that's going to be on a game-to-game basis.
What have you thought about using the tablets during scrimmages, not games, like to teach and coach in the moment, which you haven't been able to do before?
You want my honest opinion, or do you want like a BS opinion?
Always the honest.
Okay, the honest opinion. What do I feel about the talents? Okay, it's you ever taken a test, and before you walk in to take a test, the person next to you has all the answers, like literally, like on their screen?
No.
You probably haven't, right? Well. Growing up in Immokalee, Florida, there have been occasions where you walk in a classroom and the person next to you has all the answers, right? Well, those tablets, you know, it used to be wait until the game's over to kind of get the info that you need. Oh, we should have did this. Well, you're going to be able to find out info like right as the drive is ending, right? You're going to be able to gather info literally as the drive is ended. And so there's going to be a point of emphasis on it's not what happened, but what could have happened, right? It's okay, they didn't get us here. This play went for a TFL or a sack, but it could have did this. So there's going to be a lot of fast, a lot of quick and I guess somewhat easy ways to kind of see things that could have potentially happened because you have those tablets. And so I think they're kind of an outlet, right? I think they're kind of a scapegoat to a degree, because it's going to give people answers to tests that they normally wouldn't have until the game's over. But I mean, at the end of the day, right? It's about players, you know, and if you have the right players in the right position and you prepare them the right way, I think they're gonna have a chance. But I like the tablets, but in a sense, the tablets can almost kind of hinder you in some facets, because guys come off the sideline, that's all they want to do is look at it, right? That's all they want. I mean, as opposed to like what could have potentially happened, right? They want to see their sack, or they want to see their big hit or whatever, and it's like, dude, we ain't doing it for that, right? We're doing it to make corrections on certain things. But so there's pros and cons to it. We had a dry run of it last week. You know, it's pretty good for us, and I'm excited about it. But there's some knocks on it, right? Because it is video, right? Because I mean, if it was live stills, if it was stills, that'll be one thing, just regular pictures. But this is like full video, right? And you can get some quality information from full video.
All right. Thanks, Coach Henry.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
it.